since this pattern that I am making, the Mood Rosalie shirt dress, includes pockets, but it does not have online very detailed explanation of how to put in the pockets. It just says attach pockets to your side seams and overlock the edges. That's it. That's all it says. So I thought I would do a little video about how to actually put in these pockets. Now, your pattern will have notches. I just marked mine with a friction pin, and that's where you're going to line up your pockets. So you'll line up the mark on the pocket piece with the mark on the pattern. So there's 4 pocket pieces, 2 for each side, because obviously the pockets have to go together. And when you sew each side on, you want to make sure you leave a seam allowance for attaching the pockets themselves together. So this pattern uses a 3/8 seam allowance, so you want to leave that much room. So when you sew the pocket to the side seam, or to the side of the back and the side of the front, you want to leave that seam allowance so that you can sew the pockets together. Alright, I already did one. I've got my seam allowance done. Now I'm going to sew this one, and then I will do the other pocket on the other side of the dress. Now that both of my pocket pieces are sewn, I'm going to sew the pockets themselves together. So I'm just going to pin around, and it says the pattern says to overlock. I do not, well, technically I do have a serger, but I've never used it and I'm a little intimidated. So you could just zigzag the raw edges if you don't have a serger, or I did mine, I cut mine out with pinking shears, so my raw edges are pinked. But if you're going to be washing the dress often, I would definitely secure your raw edges with either a serger or a zigzag stitch. Alright, so then we're just going to sew around there, and then the pocket is done. Then we just have to sew up the side seams. Alright, now my pocket is in, and I'm going to pin and sew up my side seams. So we've got those marks. Those marks in the pattern are where the pocket openings are. So we don't want to sew past that when we're sewing up our side seams. It's not a super big pocket, but it's a decent size.